I want to help you. I want to help you reach your goals, your health and wellness goals, your weight loss goals, your energy gain goals. My name is Avi Green, and I am a healthy gourmet meal prep chef. Besides that, I am also a certified personal trainer and a certified nutrition coach. And so with all of that said, you guys, my main focus and my passion right now in life is that I want to share with you guys is to help you enjoy whole person health mainly through nutrition and specifically healthy gourmet meal prep. And so today, the video that I said I was going to do live is all about the macro diet, also known as IF, what is it? What's the acronym? IIFIMM, if it fits into my macros. It's a very popular fad diet right now. And you know, something about diets, just a little thing for you to know about diets is that there are no new diets, okay? Diets get recycled, renamed, slightly tweaked, but basically the diets are always some version of another diet that was before, okay? Diet culture is only about 100 years old, so it only started becoming something where, you know, diets were a regular part of our life and our culture in the last 100 years. And think about that for a second, because what did we do before that? Like, were we just super obese and unhealthy and like incredibly sick because we didn't have diets? Actually, the reality is now in 2021, we are very unhealthy. We're very sick. We have chronic illness. We have an obesity pandemic, even with kids in this country, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, if not the wealthiest country, also one of the most unhealthy countries in the world. And diets are part of that. And I want to tell you why I say that and why am I picking on the macro diet specifically. So first of all, let me just give you a little, I want to give a caveat about this when I talk about macro diets or any diet. If you have a chronic illness or something where you really need to count your macros, like for instance, a diabetic needs to know how many carbs they're taking into their body. They have to do that. So I'm not telling you to stop counting your macros if you're a diabetic. You have to. If you're in competitive sports, or you are an athlete, or you are, you know, a bikini model or a fitness model, and you are trying to reach a certain specific goal and body composition, you have to count your macros, okay? I get it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, mainly I'm talking to my mamas, my overwhelmed mamas, and this is kind of a redundant phrase, isn't it? If you're a mama, most likely you're overwhelmed. But definitely, you know, based on my own experience and my own life and my journey, you know, 10 years ago, I had a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old. And I was 50 pounds overweight. Now, you can't tell here, but I'm short, okay? 50 pounds on me was a lot. It felt and looked heavy. Not only was I sick of feeling and looking that way with that extra weight, I didn't have energy. I couldn't play with my kids. I was winded going up the stairs, and I was just sick of feeling that way. I was very unhappy with myself. So I took myself down to the gym. I started working out with a wonderful trainer who is a fellow mama, Kelly. Shout out to Kelly. And then I worked with another awesome trainer, Darren. Shout out to Darren. My trainers, I loved working with my trainers, and fitness was definitely a part of my weight loss journey. But when things really changed for me, as far as my weight goes and my composition of my body, was when I started meal prepping and not dieting. I want to make that clear. This is what this video is about. I am anti-diet, like to the extreme. I never dieted. I lost 50 pounds. You don't have to diet. And the reason why I'm so animated when I talk about diets, and I know this is going to rub some people the wrong way, because, you know, we love our diets. Like, everybody has done a diet, right? And we've heard our friends lost this much weight on this diet, so I'm gonna try it. And then we try it, and what happens? Generally, I mean, the statistics are 95% of diets fail. 95%, that's a huge amount. And be sure that you are hearing me clear. It's the diet that failed, not you. You did not fail, the diet failed. So what happens when that happens? The thing is, the diet is very restrictive, right? It's like you can only eat these things, you can't eat these things, and the diet is meant to be for a short period, 30 days, maybe 60 days. And so we make this commitment for this short period of time, and even if we stick with it for the entire duration of the diet, what happens when it's over? We're most likely going back to how we were eating before. Now, maybe we go into the diet thinking, well, if I do this kind of eating for 30 days, then that's the way I'm going to want to eat after the 30 days is over. It's not what happens. That's why the statistic is what it is, because we go back. Also, the restrictive diet is not compatible with life, right? We have family visits, we have parties, we want to go out, we want to enjoy our lives, and diets do not fit in well with that. So specifically today, we're talking about macro diets, and why I chose to talk about macro diets is because it's a very popular one right now. And if you're doing a macro diet and it's working amazing for you and you feel great and you can stick with this forever, do that. We have to be our own advocates. When it's all said and done, we are responsible for doing the research and figuring out what works best for us, right? However, there is no one cure or one pill or one magic, what's the word I'm looking for? Solution for weight loss. However, think about this. The diet industry is a $71 billion industry. So this is the issue with the diets. They're restrictive. They ask us to give up some really important things that we need. One in particular, keto, like a low carb diet. Think about the low fat diet. That was very popular in the 80s. It's come back and been renamed as something else, maybe the South Beach or something. But the low fat diet that was very popular in the 80s, the studies have shown that the people who really, and the residuals of that diet are still here. You'll see a lot of low fat items in the grocery store, right? But the low fat diet, the long-term results were people started to have early onset Alzheimer's. They started to have all kinds of brain issues. They started to have dementia earlier. And those studies linked that with the low fat diet. And so here's one point that I want you to think about. With the macro diet, let's talk about it. What is the macro diet? Macronutrients are protein, fat, and carbs. That's what makes up our food, those macronutrients, big nutrients, protein, fat, and carbs. Now, each of those things are requirements that our body needs. Our brain needs fat. That's why the low fat diet caused brain issues for people. Our muscles need protein, okay? So we need protein to build our muscles and to rebuild our muscles when we work out. And then carbs is for energy. Carbs translates into energy. The problem that we see with carbs is that because of the standard American diet being a very highly processed, ultra processed, high carb, low nutrient value diet, people are taking an excess of carbs and not able to even do enough movement or exercise or expend enough energy to make up for this massive intake of carbs, processed foods in particular. So any diet that is saying you got to cut out one of your macronutrients or cut it way back, warning, You can't fight biology. Our body needs that. And even if it works for a short period of time, I'll tell you a story. Even if it works for a short period of time, there's gonna be long-term effects. So just like I talked to you about the low fat diet, I had a friend, Linda, who, wonderful, beautiful woman, went on the Atkins diet, and she had massive results. She was very obese and she lost almost 100 pounds on Atkins within like 6 months. She didn't do surgery, she did it just through diet. But guess what? She became deathly ill. And by the way, Atkins, the new Atkins is keto, FYI. It's a low carb diet, it's high in protein, it's high in fat. And so anyways, she became deathly ill. Her organs started failing. She had liver and kidney trouble. She did not die, thank goodness, but she, as thrilled as she was with the results of the weight loss, she would have done things differently if she had not bought into the idea of this diet being the solution, okay? So we're gonna talk about, by the way, little fun fact about keto diet, which is also another very popular diet right now. That was discovered as a help for people with epilepsy back in the 1920s. And when it became known that the side effect was weight loss, ding, 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 money, think about it, diet industry, $71 billion industry. The diet industry is about 100 years old. That was about the same time that the diet industry kind of was born. So there's a lot of nuanced things and facts that we may not be aware of when we're approaching our goals. And I want to shed light on that for us. There's three reasons why I want to ask you to rethink your plan of going on a macro diet. One is mental health. What happens when we go on a diet and we are not able to sustain it? We make a mistake, we're not good at counting our macros, we're not good at keeping it up. We feel like we failed, and it causes stress. So if the diet, the restrictive diet, harms our mental health, then it is harming our overall health. The stress hormone, cortisol, is what causes us to hold on to weight. So if we are stressing about our diet, we're holding on, we're gonna produce more cortisol and we're gonna be holding on to weight even though we're dieting. It doesn't make sense, right? So we wanna look at overall health. It doesn't support overall health, okay? Two, it's external. It's a list of rules. And here's the thing, when we follow, we look externally for what is best for us, we're ignoring something that we all have, which is inner wisdom and intuition. Now, our intuition, especially for mamas and for women, it's very likely that we have been, I know for my own self and my experience, I was raised to, you don't trust yourself. You're not supposed to trust yourself. It's bad, it's dangerous to trust yourself. Only in the last couple of years have I started to learn how to trust my intuition, my gut, and part of that has to do with my relationship with food. And so intuitive eating is not compatible with macro counting. It's important that we heal our relationship with food. That's how we make lifestyle change, not with a diet. And three, probably the most important reason why you don't want to do a macro diet. Macro dieting does not give any emphasis or importance to micronutrients. Micronutrients is where we get the phrase, food is medicine. That's where we get our vitamins and our minerals and our antioxidants, is in the micronutrients. That's in our plants and our veggies. Look at this gorgeous assortment of veggies that I have here. We have access to the most wonderful nutrient-dense foods, but if it doesn't fit into your macros, what are you gonna do? Here's the thing, we gotta think about our long-term health, right? And so we really, really want to be taking in as many varieties of the micronutrients, which we get from plant foods, as possible. And plant foods, vegetables and fruits are carbs. And so it's very important that we don't cut back on something that our body really needs. I'll give you another little story or example. A couple of years ago, I was participating in a weight loss challenge, and I wasn't doing the challenge. I was supporting those who were with my meal prep business. And so I'm looking at the list of what it is that they are able to eat, right? I'm looking at the list on the paper, and oh my goodness, there's all these whole foods that they're not allowed to eat. A lot of them are fruits and vegetables. Fruits, I understand, because they're, to cut them out for a period of time. Okay, I guess. But then it said zucchini. And I was like, oh no. Are you for real right now? Zucchini? Get it. That's how I did that. I was so mad. This is the thing. Diets tell you you can eat protein shakes, which are highly processed, protein bars, but don't eat watermelon? What? Are you serious right now? So here's the thing about macro dieting is that it assumes that all calories are equal, and they're not. I might get a lot of carbs from my fruit, but I'm getting more than just that. I'm getting fiber, I'm getting antioxidants, I'm getting vitamins, I'm getting nutrients. So we're gonna talk more about this. I've gone on a little soapbox here with the macro diet slam down, but I'm gonna continue this topic and this conversation as we go on and through the weeks, because I really, really, really wanna help you guys learn how to do the alternative, the best alternative, and that is intuitive eating with healthy gourmet meal prep. And so that's what I teach. That is my online course, is all about meal prepping healthy gourmet food. It's not about counting macros. It's not about dieting. It's about eating nutrient-rich, dense foods, making your own sauces and dressings with plants. It's a really special, interesting thing that I have discovered in my own journey in the last 10 years. And of course, I've been cooking for since I was 10, so 34 years I've been cooking. So I have a lot of experience, and I've just kind of discovered a whole bunch of really awesome tips and tricks that I'm sharing in my program. And by the way, what is this here that we have? I am making my own spice blends now as well. So in my Meal Prep Fundamentals program, the first launch, the first time that we went through it, I sent all of my students my custom mixed spices for them to be making their sauces and dressings. And I got such good feedback that I said, you know what, I'm gonna start offering this. So it is on my website, my custom mixed spices, along with the recipes and a really cool tool that I love to use. And you can go on my website and see that. My website, Mama Avi, MAMAAVI. That's my website. Coming soon, the next round of Meal Prep Fundamentals. So if you're interested, make sure you reach out to me. And thanks for joining me today. Sorry I couldn't get the live up, but yeah, let's keep this conversation going. Also, I'm gonna be having a very awesome tool, a little mini meal prep instructional that I can share with you guys. So if you're interested in that, make sure you reach out for that. Sign up for my list on my website. Just go on my website right on the first page at the bottom, sign up for my email list, and I will send that over to you. Okay? Mwah.